Good morning, everyone. I'm Natalie Karn, one of the designers here at Sea Point.
And I'm Aaron Golden. How are you guys?
Good morning. We are so excited to share our little project with you guys. We worked really hard on this one.
Yes.
It was a fun project. We were just going to show you the kitchen actual portion of this today, but it actually was a full home addition. We pushed out the back, we pushed out the front, lots of changes.
And this is quite a dramatic change, you guys will see.
I love dramatic changes.
I know. They're so much fun.
Oh, look, it's us.
Who's that handsome guy in the pink shirt?
This is a picture of the after of the kitchen, with the project manager, Jude, who is just amazing. How we work at Sea Point is that Aaron and I kind of will take you through the process of whoever your designer is. And then once construction starts, you are given a dedicated project manager. And this was Jude in this case. So there we are. In all our glory.
So today we have 5 fun topics that we're going to go through. We're going to do what is a design build firm, how to plan your project, which is pretty easy, choosing your cabinetry materials, which is always the fun part, kitchen remodel reveal. So you guys will see the befores and afters of that amazing kitchen you just saw that Natalie and I did. And then also more inspiration pictures on kitchens that we've also done here at Sea Point.
So why in the world would you want to listen to us? Well, there's a few things. One of the things is that Sea Point has been in business since 1986. And if you do the math, that's quite a long time, especially for a construction firm. Our rate here, as far as construction firms go, they can go out of business quite rapidly. So that's something that we're really proud of. We're also a design build firm. What that means, Aaron will kind of go into that a little bit later.
That means we specialize in room additions, kitchens, bathrooms, and whole home renovations. Also, it's important to know that Sea Point does such high quality work that referrals and past clients account for almost 50% of our business, which is kind of unheard of in our industry.
Something that we're very proud of. So let's talk about how you plan a project. Let's pretend that you are ready to do a kitchen renovation. What's the first steps? How do you plan a project like this?
We have to set realistic expectations. I am not Chip and this is not JoJo.
No.
We are not going to do your entire remodel in 30 minutes over a glass of wine. I will not be jumping through drywall walls and we will not be screaming, move that bus.
But it's also setting realistic expectations on how much things cost as well. Being in Southern California is very different than a Waco, Texas, for instance, where homes cost $30,000. So when you're looking at Orange County cost of properties themselves, you kind of have to base how much your renovation is going to be based on the value of your property as well.
So there's project options out there for everyone. There's the DIY or weekend warriors, the do-it-yourselfers. You can also work with a contractor or you can select a design build firm like Sea Point. So when you're working with a contractor, you can see there, you are the center of that universe. You are in charge of getting information from your architect if it's structural. If you're hiring an interior designer, that's up to you. You also have your structural engineer who will work with your architect that you need to be coordinating, and then all of your material selections and purchasing. Then when you get all of that information gathered, you need to find your general contractor, and then they sub out to their subcontractors. So you are highly, highly involved in the day-to-day of that. And a lot of time people don't have that time. So you can work with Sea Point. So Sea Point is a all-in-one, one-stop shop. We are that center of that universe where you guys are brought in as the homeowners to pick beautiful, tiles, materials, all of that your design consultant has selected for you. We have your project managers. We procure all of your materials, all the deliveries, all of that. If it's a structural project, we have our own in-house architect and structural engineer. So everything is under our roof and we take care of all of that and take that pressure off of you. So your day-to-day life can continue as much as normal as possible, depending on the scope of your work. But we take on that headache. So it works much, much better.
So we are a full service design build firm. We give you one point of accountability as well from the start to the finish. These are just a couple of pictures of our
teams.
So yeah, you get to know the same people over and over again. We hear in our industry, we hear so many crazy stories. But one of the things that I love is that our guys are skilled craftsmen. They really are. They do amazing work, and you get to know them. They're the same people that show up every day to do your job.
Yep. So, as you know, here at C Point, we do offer in-home consultations. So if you guys are interested, there is a chat box at the bottom. You can put all of your information in that and what you're looking to do. And one of the people in our office will reach out to you. Or you can also sign up on our website, or you can call in as well.
This is actually our very first step, is that in-home consultation. And let's pretend Erin and I are your designers. We want to come and we want to talk about your wish list. What are we looking to do? What are the current conditions? What are some obstacles that we might be up against? And so that's really, it gives us sort of a spring point. That's what our first meeting's all about, is just, let's talk about what are your hopes and your wishes and your dreams.
Yep. So key considerations when choosing a contractor that's right for you. So first of all, you want to make sure that they have insurance. Insurance is highly, highly important. You want to make sure that they have liability insurance. You want to make sure they have property insurance. You want to make sure that they're bonded, and also that they have workers' compensation. And you can also check out any person that you choose to hire. You can go to the website that's shown there, the www.cslb.ca.gov, and you put in the information, and you can find out if whoever you're hiring has all of the insurances that are needed.
The next one is the importance of licenses. You want to make sure that whoever you're hiring to do your work is obviously licensed in the state of California. There are 43 types of classifications here in California. So if you're hiring, like a roofer, maybe he just is a roofer. So you would not want him to install your water heater while he's fixing your roof, obviously, because he's not a licensed plumber. Yes. If you do hire a general contractor, you really want to also make sure, I know this sounds scary, but a lot of times guys kind of shift around a lot and they can borrow someone else's license. So make sure whoever you're hiring that license matches their driver's license or their IDs, that you know that that's actually their license.
Yes, and don't be afraid to ask.
Yes.
Then also the importance of references. References are very important in our industry. Everyone hears the horror stories. So you want to make sure that you're working with a reputable company. It doesn't have to be a large company. It can be just a small person, but you just want to make sure that the people that they have, done business with are happy. As you can see here, we've been, noticed nationwide for years on our workmanship. We've won the best of Orange County. We're in the big 50 of remodeling. We have incredible Yelp reviews, house. We've won awards left and right for best of house. Natalie and I have actually won individual awards as well. So I know. So, you just want to make sure that whoever you're working with has, a good standing in the world of remodeling.
But to Erin's point, if you are hiring somebody small, that's okay too. But I would definitely highly recommend that, just like if you were interviewing someone to come into your home, that you check out their references, or even ask to go to one of their job sites. Because, if you're walking up and there's cigarette butts on the ground and there's music blasting and there's mess everywhere, it's a good indication of how they, are treating your home. So definitely don't be shy to go out to a job site or to ask questions and to get referrals. This is a scary one. Are you ready?
Do you want this one?
Sure.
Okay.
This is what I was talking about earlier at the very beginning, is that in our industry, nearly 36% of small businesses fail around year 5. So it's really important to choose a contractor that's going to be around. Why is that important? One of them is, what if something goes wrong? This is remodeling. It's not an exact science. Although we strive to make it that way, things can happen. And if you're calling someone, in 3 years, like, hey, my pipe is now leaking, how do you know that they're going to be around? So it's definitely, it's a little bit of a scary statistic. Another reason is
warranties. In the state of California, you're required to give a 1-year warranty. At C Point, we upped that, and we give a 5-year warranty on all of our workmanship. So anything that would happen during construction, building, any of that kind of thing, we take on that responsibility within the first 5 years, and you call us. Anything that you purchase through us, as in fixtures or anything like that, we also take care of that if something should happen. So you just want to make sure that, whoever you're hiring out there has that warranty. And in whatever contract you sign, it's very, very important that you make sure that's written in there, which it is in ours, but you want to make sure that at least that 1-year warranty is written in there as well.
Can we get to get the fun stuff yet? Nope,
No.
not yet.
I'll do some
Sure.
city permits and HOA. So you see there, lead and asbestos testing and abatement. Don't get scared.
No.
We do have to test. It is mandatory in the state and it is very enforced.
Even if your house was built yesterday, the
Yes.
state of California now makes us test everything.
But we only have to test in the area that we are working on. So it's not like, abatement used to be this big scary word and people are like, oh my gosh, you found it in drywall, so you have to take out all the drywall in my house. No, that's not the case. It only has to be in the area that we're actually working on. 9 times out of 10, everyone comes up negative. There is that 1% where people are hot for asbestos and then it just gets abated and it's part of your demo. Then we also work with homeowners associations. A lot of the area, homes in California have an HOA. That is fine. We help you with your HOA. Unfortunately, the HOAs will not talk to us because we are not the homeowner, but we do obtain the information. We do put the packet and all the information you need together so you can submit it to the HOA.
But typically, if you're just doing a kitchen remodel, guys, you're not dealing with an
Yeah.
HOA. It's only if you start messing around with
If you're doing
things
an
like,
addition or
exterior
windows, those kind of things. That's the only thing really HOAs care about. Interior stuff, usually not. And then we also obtain all of your city building permits. So we go to the city, we take care of all that for you.
So let's talk about, now that we're through all of that, let's talk about the design process.
I call that fast at the end of a movie.
Yeah,
If you're trying to
The
read.
credits.
Yeah.
yes. So we've done the credits first. Now we get to go to the fun stuff. So let's talk about C Point. Let's pretend you've chosen C Point. We're so excited. Let's get started. Let's talk about how we're going to design your amazing kitchen remodel. The first thing, like we talked about, is that you're going to have a design consultation. So we'll come out to you and we're talking about, what we want to do. And then what's the first thing everybody wants to know when they're talking about remodeling?
How much does it
cost? So that is what our design agreement does. It basically will give you the scope of work that we talked about in our first appointment, and it's going to give you a budget range. If that all looks great, then we start moving forward. We start selecting exact materials, cabinets, all those little details. So we're getting really, really specific, and then we hit contract. So it makes it eliminates, not eliminates, but it definitely minimizes change orders. And that's a big scary word in our industry as well. But because we've already figured everything out on the front end, now we are really specific when it comes down to your construction agreement. We're not putting in a ton of allowances.
And once your construction agreement is signed, then we do our ramp up. We start getting all of your permits, and then demo would begin, and then we build it. And then you guys just get to sit back and relax.
And watch the drywall sanding. Yay.
So how much did you expect to pay?
Well, that's like saying, how much does a car cost? Well, do you want a Honda or do you want a Mercedes? There's variables that will affect how much your remodel will cost, just like a car would. If we're fully loaded to the max, then it's obviously going to be more expensive than a stripped down version. In a kitchen, let's just pretend, 38% of your budget goes to cabinets. And that's completely opposite when we're talking about a bathroom remodel. But for a kitchen, your cabinets really are a big factor. I always like to tell my clients that just think of it this way. For every linear foot, you're putting in a piece of furniture. It's really a dresser. So are we talking about IKEA dresser? Or are we talking about restoration hardware dresser? And that's going to affect your budget greatly.
And as you can see there, we did break it out into the project management, the flooring costs, countertops and tile, labor and installation, and then that little tiny number of drywall. So cabinetry plays a large role in the cost, like Natalie just described. So there are 3 different kinds of cabinetry that you can choose. You can choose stock cabinetry, which obviously is the low. That's, the big box stores where it comes and you have to put it together. There's semi-custom, which we do here at C Point, which means it is made to order. It does not come off of the shelf. And then there's full custom, which means your options are limitless. So with semi-custom cabinetry, you can expand the choices and styles. It is actually your best value because we are utilizing every inch of space. You're not going to have big fillers like you would with the big box store, DIY type cabinetry. We can do size modifications and we do have a lot of flexibility there. And all of our cabinetry does have a catalyzed conversion varnish, which is a baked on finish. which actually helps protect the longevity of your cabinets from scratches, everyday wear, all of that. And they also do have a lifetime warranty. Oops. Then custom cabinetry, as you can see here, also has the catalyzed conversion varnish. It's unlimited. The little picture you see here to the left, you will see an image farther down in the before and afters of that kitchen and see how limitless it is.
That one took a lot of work.
Yeah. It's of the highest quality, and it still does have the lifetime warranties.
There's a lot of different styles. It's actually one of the very first things that we start talking about when we're talking about a kitchen remodel. It's literally the first thing that we pick out because it is so important. We always describe, also with that door styles and options is also layouts. And we will literally sit on your kitchen floor and ask you a ton of questions about where are we putting the coffee pot? Because we want a drawer underneath it for coffee pods. Where are we putting silverware so it's accessible to your table? So all of those things play a big role. Same with inserts.
Cabinet inserts, the storage features. A lot of people use them, some people don't. There are so many variations. A lot of times, some of these items are aftermarket. So if you're not sure, we do suggest that you kind of live with the kitchen. Like obviously we do put bells and whistles in because you want pullouts, a spice pull out, all of that. But a lot of like the silverware dividers and a lot of that stuff, you kind of have to live with your kitchen a little bit to see if you like it and that it functions for you, because they are easily added after the fact as well.
But they also add a lot of cost. And so, when we're talking about budgets, we are very budget conscious here at C Point. We don't want to start adding so many rollouts and so many inserts that you can't afford the kitchen. So, yeah, we do definitely take that into consideration. It's also tile. Not so much in a kitchen. I mean, basically, as far as tile goes, we're either talking about flooring or your backsplash. In a bathroom, that's completely different. And we spend a lot more time in tile when we're talking about bathrooms. But for kitchens, we're talking about your backsplash. This first one is an example of stone or marble. Very pretty. You do want to seal it. Not steal it.
Steal it. You can steal this if you can get it off the wall. There's also glass tile. Glass tile has a very reflective quality. It does tend to lean more towards the contemporary side. So if that is a look that you're going for, it's a beautiful choice.
Porcelain is sort of the king. We use porcelain, I would say probably 95% of the time. And it's because it has a denser molecular structure. And I sound so smart. And so it does not hang on to water. It's better for stains. When we're talking about cooking, you want something that can be easily wiped and doesn't absorb any matter. Oh, look, it's Rodriguez.
I know, I saw that.
So pretty.
So let's talk about countertop options. So out there's several. There's engineered quartz, which we use a ton of now.
Yeah.
It is a mixture of epoxy and quartz. You want a very high ratio of the actual ground stone and a lower ratio of the epoxy. That makes for a better quartz. It comes in every color, style, all of that. It's already polished. You don't have to maintain it.
You don't have to baby it.
Yeah.
There's also natural stone. Natural stone is absolutely beautiful. It is. It can be costly, and they also have a lot of variation in it. Some natural stones will also require a little bit more maintenance. You have to seal it. Like if we were going to use a natural marble, we would literally have to interview you.
Yes.
Because if you use any kind of acid near it, meaning lemons, wine, anything like that, it can
fruit.
it can wipe out an entire slab of countertop. So we need to be careful of natural stones sometimes. That's including marble.
So reveal time.
Yay!
So this is a kitchen that Natalie and I finished recently. It is in Mission Viejo, and it does have a very earth tone vibe to it. It fit the client's expectations and their lifestyle.
So this is the before, you guys. So you can see how little this is. Dark, very dark in here. Lots of can lights. We were kind of working with just a dated kitchen. I mean, maybe this looks like a lot of homes. I know that there's a lot of them in Mission Viejo that looks like this. Their wish list, they really wanted an open concept. They wanted better flow. They had no room for anything, and they cook a ton, and they only had one little refrigerator. So they wanted crisper drawers and a big fridge and big ovens and things like that. And there was nowhere to put that in here. So
Here are more of those before pictures before construction. You can see it was, it was dark. It showed its age. And it wasn't very large, but that's like Natalie said, it is very, very common here. And they did want more space and more of an open concept. So as you can see here, this is our existing floor plan. You can see, it's outlined by that red box, that the kitchen is not very large. So
we started going into design and seeing what it was possible. They did have a large backyard, yay. And so you'll see here that we started going, okay, well, how can we integrate a large pantry and start pushing out into the backyard to make this kitchen much larger? So this is the new kitchen area. So you'll see that we were able to add this back kitchen, which was a mudroom and a laundry room and a huge pantry. And then we start pushing out here with a large bay window and another slider to let in natural light. We put transom windows all along this wall and pushed the whole entire thing into the backyard.
And we took out the center wall that divided their existing living room and the backyard and kitchen, opened that all up, but then also to remove the fireplace and added that big walk-in closet for the master.
There was a lot that was done with this house that we're not showing you guys. We added an office, we added a back area out here, but I will digress and only focus on the kitchen.
So as you can see here, this was the proposed kitchen floor plan. Like Natalie said, we did a big L-shaped kitchen. We added a very, very large island to give them a lot of space. And then there's that back kitchen, like Natalie spoke about, with the pantry where you see the washer and dryer and a lot of cabinetry. So she got rid of those three little doors, if you guys remember in the previous picture, which is a very small pantry. And now she has a full walk-in pantry.
Just all over here. One thing to note is that when you are working with C-Point, you will have the exact same thing. It's one of the first things that we do is space planning. We want to make sure that we can open ovens, that we're not slamming into things, that the sink has a good flow, that we can open refrigerator walls without hitting islands, all that kind of stuff. So it's one of the first things that we do. We also will give you elevations of every single wall. So as we're designing and we're making decisions of where silverware goes, where pots and pans are going, we want you guys to see this. We want to make changes on paper, not one more out on the field. That's expensive. So we go over these and over these and over these, but these are also the drawings that the guys built to. So they are very important.
Yes. Then we go into color renderings. This is after we've already selected that layout. We've selected your flooring materials, your cabinetry color, your handles, your backsplash tile, everything. We integrate all of that into a color rendering. So you really get that feel of what that kitchen is going to look like. Because like the backsplash you see here in the rendering is not the backsplash that we ended up with. They originally wanted this herringbone. And then after we saw the renderings, they felt it was going to be too busy. And so in that final pictures that you'll see, we softened it to more of one that was more organic.
And again, that is something we want to make changes on paper. I do not want frantic phone calls of going, oh my God, I hate it. Make them stop. So that is exactly why we do these color.
You have to say it
just like these are more renderings. There's that back kitchen that we were talking about. And there's our after.
There's the final product. As you can tell, it is a stunningly beautiful kitchen. And there again is that backsplash that has that soft wave in it. And it gave it more of an organic kind of feel to it. And just for a point of reference, the fixtures that are hanging over the island, those are 24 inches by 24 inches. So for scale, you can see how big things are in this kitchen.
Absolutely. This is a large kitchen. We all have kitchen envy. When we were here at the photo shoot, we were all just drooling and I'm like, I want it. But it was so much fun designing this one, especially when we do get to knock down walls and recreate a space, not just a facelift. This was a full mommy makeover.
Yep.
This is the refrigerator. One thing that we do is panel ready versus paneled, meaning that your refrigerator can either come with, the steel, or we can put cabinets on them so that it's all integrated and it doesn't look so much like an appliance.
Here's another view of it. As you can see, the barn door covers that mudroom area over there into the pantry. It just added more of a natural element to it. And we did pop in color because obviously color is back in again. This is called endive. It's a very, very deep green. We put it on the ends to balance the room, and then we also centered it on the island.
So you can see that we used it here, the island, and over here. You don't want to go too crazy with it because, again, they had had a dark kitchen for so long, so we really did want to lighten it up, but they did not want just an all white kitchen, and
Yep.
either did we. So we were all in agreement.
Yep.
And then we brought in the brass just as a soft accent. There's nothing prettier than brass on forest green. But mixing all these natural elements like the wood shelves, these are all from rustic snow fences in Montana. Same with the custom hood. There was just a lot of pretty jewelry, if you will, that just made this whole kitchen come together, from the rustic beams to the polished brass. It just has a pretty juxtaposition and went together so pretty, if I do say so myself.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to mix metals. I cannot tell you how many times I hear a day, well, if all of my appliances are stainless steel, then I have to do stainless steel everywhere.
No,
No, you don't. I don't know who told people that. I hate that trend. No, you can mix, you can do whatever feels good. I mean, there are no rules here. So if it looks pretty, then go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one more shot. There's a lot of shots. So
There are.
where are we?
We're up here. We're giving.
There's that green again with the brass.
Yep. So here's some more before and after photos.
I love before and after photos.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it. Let's see what we have. Oh my.
So a lot of people have this. It was a design trend for a while to do these shaped islands.
Mhm.
It was probably a late 80s, early 90s trend. And then a lot of times to put the cooktop right there in the island. So when your friends are eating,
You can burn them.
yes,
What fun. Sit down, children, have some bacon.
or your hand.
Yeah.
So we took time and design, did a lot of rethinking, and this was the after.
Gorgeous.
So as you can see, the range was moved to the back wall. Love, love, love the dark refrigerator and the double ovens. It was a beautiful kitchen.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
A little more contemporary than the farmhouse that maybe a lot of people are
Mhm.
are seeing. We're starting to see a trend of getting away from farmhouse. Don't be
Softening
worried
it
if
a
you
lot.
still like farmhouse, so do I, but we are starting to do other things, which is nice for us.
Mhm.
Here is another one. This was just a bank of cabinets, and you can see the kitchen sort of tucked back here.
Mhm. So spent time in design, opened up walls, made it much larger to utilize, and put in huge windows to utilize that beautiful view. And it has that very soft, organic feel. So it's very tranquil feeling.
Mhm.
I love this one. Those little pops of blue. Here you have another dark kitchen, which many, many, many people have, with the Ubatuba dark countertops with the matching backsplash. You can only do so much with lighting. So again, spent time in design and
Right.
completely changed it. Did a built-in seating nook, have this very cool little two-sided seating area at the end of the island for the kids in the morning for breakfast. The sink right there, because it's actually a peninsula. I don't know if you can see it very well from the photo. So it became a very, very functional family kitchen and super light and bright.
Here's another dark one. Maybe you guys are experiencing the same thing. We go into kitchens every day, and I can't tell you, I typically don't go into ones that are all white that I'm like, why would you touch this? Most of them look like this. Lots of dark, 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 dark.
This one spent a lot of time in design. And when we were talking about that fully custom kitchen, this kitchen transformed from this to this.
Now, this may not be your style.
Yes.
But Miss Glamazon herself loved this stuff, and
Yes.
she wanted it to look like Barbie's dream kitchen, and so this is what we gave her. It's not a typical project. This was very out of the box and 100% complete custom,
Yes.
but super fun.
Yes. Here again is another everyday California kitchen. Many people have the same, U-shaped kitchen in their house that has functioned. But again, it's dark. And as you can see, it's, you want more light and bright. Yes, there is a wood trend coming back, but the wood trend is more of just like touches of wood, not an entire kitchen. And as you can see in the after, this is how you do it. The lower section is all of that soft and nicer wood tone, pop the white cabinets above. And then also you can see there is a chevron patterned back of that island that's in a blue. So don't be afraid to have, pop in a color or mix, a solid color with a wood element. It blends itself very well.
I would say, I know Erin and I we're big on timeless. So if we are going to do something really fun, we will typically do it somewhere that's easy to replace. Meaning, if you want a really funky, something different, some pattern, let's put it in a backsplash. Because if you get tired of it in a few years, it's easy to take just a backsplash out and you're not ripping out cabinetry, which is expensive.
Yep.
Here's one more kitchen. I love this one. It was a pretty kitchen. There was nothing wrong with it, but it did not function for their family. She really felt kind of closed off. There wasn't a lot of light, and this was just kind of wasted space for them. And so again, we spend time in design. We never want shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We ask a lot of questions and take our time through the design process to give you exactly what you want. And now it is fully functioning. It's lighter, it's brighter. We added another window, we extended it. They couldn't sit at the island before, and now they can. And that desk is gone, which gave them the opportunity to get a beverage fridge and more drawers and more storage, which is exactly what they needed. And more.
And then one more. This kitchen, obviously, you look at it and go, nothing's wrong with it. But this homeowner, this homeowner had lived here for several years, in excess of like almost 20. And they just wanted a refresher. They didn't want to change the color that much. They just wanted to update it and have a new look.
I know this. It took me a second. It looks so different in the after.
So when you change it, so we changed it up a lot. You notice on the left, which you really couldn't see from the other picture, we added this really pretty kind of hutch kind of effect on the left. We flanked the range at the end with the refrigerator and freezer.
Can I stop you really quick? One really cool thing that you and I are especially doing is instead of just putting one refrigerator, we can split them into two. So this guy is actually the refrigerator and this guy is the freezer. And so we will typically flank your range so that it kind of gives it just this really custom look. And you don't just have to have one fridge anymore. So these are 30-inch columns with drawers on the bottom. And this is also, which I love, is an in-plumbed, in-cabinet coffee maker, which is also very cool. And a drawer underneath for all the pods. And again, like we were saying earlier, we ask a lot of questions. We don't want you to get this kitchen and go, shoot, I really wish that I had a drawer underneath here for all my coffee pods. We think of all those things before.
And again, here we did mix that wood element in there on the island and then just popped it back in on the band back there. And what you can't see from this is the opposite end of this giant room. There is a built-in bookcase that matches the same wood color.
Yes.
So we wanted to make sure that it all flowed together.
Here is another kitchen. I love all these before and after.
The Talega kitchen.
Yes. How about you guys? I love before and afters. I can't get enough of them. So this one, same thing. But if you can see that there's a big space up here, most people now want cabinets that go up to the ceiling. We can't always do it if we have massive ceilings. But typically there's new little tricks of the trade that we have up our sleeves so that we can do all kinds of cool things now. So they did spend some time in design, and then we ended up with this.
Yep. Complete change. Again, there's that mixture of some color, that very, very light green with wood tones, and then also white. So don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Yes. So again, like we said, there's our phone number right there, 949-861-3400. If you'd like to make an appointment, you can also, I know it's not like an information.
Totally. Operators are standing by.
You can also go on the website, view, all of the different portfolio pictures that we do have. Ask any questions. I believe that there is a form on there to fill out for a free in-home consultation. So, it's It's up to you guys. We would love to hear from you.
We actually do have some questions.
Yes, we
when
do.
we have some time. So Erin and I will kind of split these up. Which one do you want to take?
How much does cost vary between a non-structural and structural kitchen remodel? To be brutally honest, it can vary quite a bit. That all depends on the size of the wall we're taking out, if we're taking out the entire wall, if we're taking out just a portion of that wall. Because with today's building codes, there's a lot you have to do. If there's shear in it, you have to put in new footings a lot of times, their header beams, all of that. So it can add, a pretty hefty amount onto it for just a standard wall removal. So we try to work around those a lot of times, but sometimes you just are like, get rid of that wall.
Sometimes we get really creative. So I'll take the last one and then maybe we can do the middle one
Okay.
together.
Sure.
So my question is, do you provide landscape design build services too? Yes and no. We do hardscape, and we do plan out backyards and stones and pool coping and things like that, but there is a limit to what we will do. We do not do softscape, meaning that we don't do plants and trees and flowers. You would not want Erin and I picking out your trees. I guarantee you they would not survive.
Yeah.
And we don't do pools anymore. So,
but we do if providing landscape design, but we do California rooms, those kind of things to integrate, a fire pit area onto a patio. That all of that, yes, we do.
We are full service, however, and so if softscape was something that was part of your project, then we will bring in a second party and we kind of all work collaboratively together to design it. But you would be working with that person directly to integrate it in your project, and your project manager would help coordinate all of that. And we are full service as far as that goes. We just don't provide it.
Yep. Another question is, where should I splurge and save in materials for my kitchen? That's kind of a tricky one, because you can splurge in your countertop material. Let's say you found an absolutely beautiful quartzite that you want to use instead of a quartz. That's going to be a splurge because quartzite is a natural material and will cost more than a quartz. You can also do it in a backsplash. Sometimes some of the mosaic backsplashes are really expensive. And let's say we just put it behind your range and put a coordinating tile everywhere else. So you get that splurge, if you don't have the budget to do the entire thing in that material.
I would say where you should save money is the inserts for your cabinetry.
Mm-hmm.
I would not go crazy with 1,000 rollouts and dividers and all that kind of stuff. They are extremely expensive. I don't know why. It's like outdoor furniture. I can't figure out why it's so expensive. But that's also something that you can do in stages, because kitchens are not cheap to do a whole remodel. So you're not going to see inside your cabinets all the time. So I would save some of that stuff, the dividers and all the stuff for your pantry, for maybe, in 6 months or a year after, you've been in there, like Erin was saying, you've kind of lived through that kitchen remodel as well.
Yeah. So we have one more. Do you or C Point purchase all materials before the project starts? Do we store them, then install it? So I'll take this one. So how that process works is C Point will purchase all of your materials. We do ask that when we start our projects with you, that there is space on site to store those materials, because our warehouse is only so large. So we would store them in your garage, as well as like your appliances that get delivered. Your cabinetry will come from our warehouse to your project. And then we do not start your project until we have all of those in hand, so that we can seamlessly continue, because there's no point in us, coming in, tearing out your entire kitchen and then waiting the 6 weeks for cabinetry. It doesn't make sense, because then you're out your entire kitchen.
So I'll take the last one.
Okay.
It says, how much do you charge per square foot for a kitchen? For a kitchen. We don't do it by square foot. And it would be impossible to answer that question. It would be impossible to price it per square foot as well. And here's why. Every kitchen is so different. If it was just based on square footage pricing, that would mean that everybody would have to have the exact same thing. And there are so many variables in a kitchen remodel, it's next to impossible to do that. General ranges, okay? General ranges, this can be tricky. You're anywhere from 60 to 100, and that's the size of your kitchen,
Mhm.
the quality of the cabinets. Are we going mid-range, high range? There's a ton of variables.
There's a huge range in that, and it does depend on the amount of cabinetry, the bells and whistles, you know, from the overall size of the kitchen, wall removal, non-structural wall removal, those kind of things. So there are so many components into it. That's why we can't, or we don't in our industry for a remodel give a square footage price for a kitchen remodel.
Square footage pricing, to be honest, is really more for new builds because they are building the same thing over and over and over, and there aren't a lot.
They're starting from scratch.
Right. So it's much easier to do a new build, like say you were at a housing tract. A general contractor can give you a square foot price of how much a new build is. Where we're talking about remodels, there are 1,000 variables from what's the state of your condition of your kitchen right now? Do we have to do a repipe? Do we have to tear everything out? Is it already up to code? Is it not? There's just too many variables for us to do square footage pricing, so we just don't.
Yep. So I think that's all the questions that we had. So again, please feel free to reach out to us via phone, via email, via the
Fax machine,
the
Morse code,
the website, or if you are still on here and you want to put all of your information in that chat box below, that would be greatly appreciated. It was great talking with you guys.
I love this project. It was fun to be able to share it today.
Yeah, and I hope you guys learned stuff.
Oh, we have one more question.
Yes. So the question was, does it make sense to do a bathroom and kitchen together? Yes, it does. It all depends on, you know, obviously you'll have another bathroom in your house to use. You would be out your kitchen for a little bit, but there are cost efficiencies to doing both of them at the same time if it's feasible.
Right. That way the plumber is only there one time, the tile guy is there at the same time, and we're not going back and forth. But I will make a little note that doing a kitchen remodel is certainly a lot easier than it was even when I started at C Point 5-6 years ago, when we didn't have the invention of Instapots and air fryers. Yay, Instapots and air fryers, because now you can still cook full meals without like going, oh, I have to eat out for, you know, however long your kitchen remodel takes, you know, however many weeks. So we love our little gadgets that make it ever so easy. Anyways, it was wonderful being with you guys today. We always have fun hosting these.
Yes.
And we will see you guys
Yes.
the next time.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.